What's up, guys? It's Agent Juicy, and today I'm going to be reviewing the BlackBerry Passport's keyboard. It's not really a review, but it's more like a breakdown and explanation of the BlackBerry Passport's keyboard. So, the BlackBerry Passport keyboard is something really new, it's really fresh, it's hip, and if you even want to call it, it's really innovative. I actually kind of like this. This is like a big QWERTY keyboard, like it's actual physical keys there that you actually could press and tap and do everything that you usually or BlackBerry 10 devices such as these or the OS 7 ones. Also, on top of this, it has like a thin layer, almost like a film, just on top of it. You can't really see it. Each key has like almost like a little circuit board underneath it. So what happens is when you touch something, it picks up your gesture. It's not like a touch screen. It's more like for gestures. And what do I mean by that? Is if you're on a website like this, I'm going to use TMZ, you could scroll down the page, or you could scroll up the page. Now, if you're like me, and you can't really see those words there, obviously, common sense is going to tell you to zoom in. You can't zoom in or zoom out with the keyboard. That's something they should have, but we'll talk about what they should do with this technology in the future and later on in this video. So, you zoom in, so now you can see a lot more. Now, if you want to like scroll to the right, you just simply do that. It's that easy. It's not difficult at all. You can see right there. I'm pretty sure you guys could read that off the camera. So that's how moving up and moving side to side actually works on this. So now let's say you're in an email, and the email says something like this. So let's hit reply. So this is the coolest part about the keyboard. It's similar to BlackBerry 10's touchscreen keyboard, and that's, I'm going to type, I'm not interested in this. So I'm going to write, I'm not interested in the So I'm gonna write, I'm not interested in the product. In the product. And then you have the ability now with the virtual keyboard right on top to quickly select which one you want. Now a little trick that I use is like I use this side or this side to speed it up. So what I do is I just swipe down on the keyboard and it reveals the numbers, it reveals the characters. It looks a little bit complicated. Additionally, users could hit the corresponding physical button like the Y, and that would select whatever letter was there. So the Y is associated with the close brackets, or you could hit the B for the @ so you just hit B and you get the @ sign appearing. Hit it at first, but if you swipe down again, it's almost like you could see everything from the money sign to the euro to the pound sterling, so you know all the characters that you want, and that's really cool. So swipe down once, it brings up the first layer, the second layer, and then the third swipe basically removes it from the screen. So now let's say you want to put a comma between the hey. So all you got to do is just double tap on the keyboard. You guys can see that the cursor came up, so I'm going to double tap. So let's say you don't want the cursor again, right? I don't want the cursor. You can either wait for it to disappear, or if you're like me, you just double tap again, and it disappears. So you double tap, it appears, and you can scroll to wherever you want. And let's say it's the hey, right? We're going to put a comma right by the hey. So they usually have the most used characters right there. And you just tap it and that's it. So, and then you could send this off to whoever you want. You could also delete this phrase if you don't want to add it. So I'm just going to scroll down to the TELUS network because that just looks really ugly. Not TELUS, just their network and their prices. So all you gotta do is just swipe to the left and you can delete all of those stuff. That's really cool. Now I personally would like to add a feature to this. Maybe if you swipe across and you held it there with your thumb. Maybe if the keyboard felt that it just kept on deleting instead of like doing this repetitively, which actually kind of wears your fingers out. So I just showed you how to scroll up, how to scroll down, how to scroll left and right. Then I showed you how to double tap and use a cursor. Then I showed you word prediction. Now the last thing that I'm going to explain to you is when your fingers are moving on the keyboard like this, it doesn't drag along or it doesn't activate the cursor at all. Only double tapping activates the cursor. And if you're in a web page, it's kind of hard to do that. The technology is kind of adapted and really smart. It's not buggy at all. However, I had a few issues with it, and we're going to talk about that now. The problem with this is it's really small. The surface area is actually really small. For me, I have a really big thumb. You guys can see that. It takes up literally almost two rows of keys, or 3 rows. It blocks out. So what happens is when I swipe up, my finger always hits that little piece right there. And I know you're like, oh, just be safe, right? But technically, it's kind of difficult to do that. So what do I actually do is I just usually use this little portion right here to scroll, so that doesn't happen. That being said, it comes to my next thing. So now most of you are actually wondering, like, could you exit the app with this keyboard, or could you make your life a lot easier? You know, but the thing is no. The short answer is no. And what do I mean by that? So let's say you're in an app called Calendars. So actually exit this app, you just swipe up and it goes to the home screen. With the BlackBerry 10 keyboard, you can't really swipe up to actually move the app out to your home screen. So that would be a really good thing. Now the second thing is, if you're in your pictures, you'd expect them to like activate, like, you know, maybe, so let's put this here. So you'd expect them to like maybe allow you to swipe left and right while you're viewing pictures and images, but that's not the case. It's not possible. You still have to use your finger to scroll on the screen, which is kind of dumb. I would actually love to just swipe left and right using this. The last thing that you're most likely wondering is, could I access the settings then by maybe double swiping down to reveal the settings for all of these menus, like this? No. The answer is no. It's just simple no. You still have to drag your finger from the top of the screen down just to do that. And it would be really wise if you had this ability where you just swipe your fingers down and you could reveal the settings. I would actually love a feature like that. Additionally, I would also like, since my 2 fingers are on the keyboard, I would actually like a zoom in and a zoom out feature. That'd be really cool. And this uses battery life to actually work and use. So every time you touch this, it uses a charge. Same way how a touchscreen actually works. A touchscreen is basically a plain field with a bunch of like electrons on it, or electrodes, that carries a charge. When you touch it, it discharges, and that's how you know where it's sensing. So when you double tap, it senses that change in the field, right? Similar method is probably used with the keyboard. So this uses a lot of battery life and something to be careful with. And this has been the BlackBerry Passport keyboard explained to you guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and please hit that like button, please hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.